This module is a part of the training series for the POWER program, Positive Outcomes with Emotion Regulation. This module will describe Group Meeting 3, Relaxation and Behavioral Activation. Please take a few moments to review this disclaimer about the training module. The objectives for Group Meeting 3 are that students will communicate the rationale for using relaxation strategies to manage unpleasant, activating emotions, and behavioral activation strategies to manage unpleasant, deactivating emotions. Identify and independently demonstrate the steps to using relaxation strategies, and identify and independently demonstrate positive replacement behaviors for behavioral activation strategies. For this group meeting, you will need several materials. Every student will need their student book, a writing utensil, and then the Week 3 challenge form for the end of the meeting. You will need your agenda displayed for the group expectations poster, your completed challenge form from Week 2, and a poster or whiteboard with an appropriate writing utensil. There are 5 main topics and activities during Group Meeting 3. This group meeting starts off by reviewing the group expectations and the agenda for the meeting. Then the challenge from the prior week is reviewed. In this session, you will introduce 3 different relaxation strategies and have students practice and discuss them. Students will also learn about behavioral activation. Finally, you will introduce the challenge for the week and wrap up the meeting. As always, you will begin the group meeting by briefly reviewing the group expectations and then the agenda for the meeting. After this, you will ask the students to recall what you covered during the previous group meeting. You will want to be sure that you discuss the dimensional emotion model and some external and internal clues to emotions. Then they can share their weekly challenge assignment, which was a song that relates to their goal. Start by sharing your challenge, and then ask each student to share their example. In this next section of the meeting, you will introduce different relaxation strategies. The first strategy is deep breathing. In order to introduce deep breathing to the students, you will have the students open their student books to the box breathing visual. This visual shows students how to take deep breaths using a 4 count. They will breathe in through their nose for a 4 count, hold it for another 4 count, breathe out for a 4 count, and rest for a 4 count. You will use the visual to explain it to the students and then model how to take deep breaths for the students, using the box breathing visual yourself. Once you have modeled this, you will then lead the students in a guided practice using a script provided in the manual. Students will practice for 1 minute. After the practice, you will ask students how they feel and if they notice any changes in their body. Following the breathing exercises, you will introduce another relaxation strategy, muscle relaxation. You will let students know that muscle relaxation is when you slowly tense and then relax different muscle groups at a time, and that muscle relaxation includes deep breathing as well. Similar to teaching deep breathing, you will model tensing your muscles first and then lead the students in a guided practice with a script in the manual. This section ends with a discussion of how the students felt using the strategy. The final relaxation strategy in this session is taking time. Taking time is about taking a breath to tune into your emotions and engage in a behavior that helps you self-regulate. During this part of the meeting, you will work with the students to generate a list of how they can take time at school or at home. You will write these ideas on poster paper or a whiteboard. Once the students generate a list of possible actions, it's important to talk to the students about the logistics of taking time at school, knowing that different teachers may have different expectations. During this discussion, you will encourage students to be proactive and discuss some options with teachers or brainstorm some solutions in advance of using the taking time strategy. The next section of the meeting is devoted to behavioral activation. At this point, you will explain to students that often when people experience unpleasant, deactivating emotions, they may engage in unhealthy behaviors by not being active or social. And often, when this happens, people wait to feel better or motivated before doing something positive. Behavioral activation can be used to do something positive, even when you are not motivated to do so. By being activated, that is doing the opposite of what you want to do, you may start to feel a little better. Once you have introduced this concept, you will help students consider positive replacement behaviors that can be used for behavioral activation. In the student book, there's a list of possible replacement behaviors. You will prompt students to select 3 options that they could try. Then you will ask them to rate each option for how easy it is to do and how rewarding they will find that activity. Finally, they will think of some times when they could try that activity. The challenge for this week is for students to think about their emotion goal that they set in week 2. On the challenge sheet, there's a column of relaxation strategies on the left and a column of positive replacement behaviors on the right. If a student's goal was to be less activated and more positive, they will choose one relaxation strategy to try. If a goal was to be more positive and activated, they will try a behavioral activation strategy. Before each student leaves, ask them to let you know which column they will be choosing a strategy from for their challenge. This module was designed to provide you with information about the third group meeting. This resource was developed by the Devereaux Center for Effective Schools and has been made available to you through the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration and the Northeast and Caribbean Mental Health Technology Transfer Center.